Alright everyone, AtlasTheWizard here. Before I get started, I want to thank everyone that that watched the tier list for the characters in season 11. You guys have been blowing it up. You guys are awesome. The YouTube algorithm finally made notice of my account. I really appreciate the subscribers. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. Really helps out the channel. Gives me more motivation, to stay active here on YouTube. So, because that video did so well, I decided to make a weapons tier list for season 11. Um, Before I go any further, I'm gonna specify that this is strictly on controller. This is not on PC. So if you see me rate one weapon above the other, I don't want you guys going like, "Oh my God, Imperial Hal used this weapon, and he makes it so busted. ACU uses the wingman, this, that, and the other." Um, so just keep that in mind. This is strictly a controller tier list. So let's get started. Let's start getting like the boring guns out the way. In D tier, I have the P2020 first. This is just like just a regular D tier weapon. There's not much to say about the P2020. I'm not even hopping on, to training mode yet because it's kind of just whatever. But let's see. Yeah, that's going to be my first D tier weapon. In D plus, I have the Mozambique. Again, not much to say about it. I do like that the Mozambique is, full auto. That doesn't change the fact that it's not really that strong. It's very situational, but, if you land off drop and you have a Mozambique and the other person doesn't, well, you're going to win that 1v1, hopefully. Alright, let me start getting into C minus. C minus, I have Shattercap's bow. Shattercap's bow sucks. I mean, it's not that it sucks, but you're not gonna go out of your way to, to tell someone, "Hey man, I got a bow. Can you get me like Shattercaps?" Like, it's not, it's kind of whatever. It's not really, no one really cares about it. But in regular C tier, I have the RE45. RE45, where's the RE45? Have a video probably before the tier list where I one clip this seer. I one clip him with an RE45 and it does 150. I had no mag and everything. It was pretty cool, right? But on paper the gun isn't very optimal. You have to be super accurate. The hip fires isn't the best. As you can see, you have to aim down sights with this gun and you have to be really accurate. You have to make every single bullet count. And C tier doesn't mean it's the worst gun in the game, right? But I would rather have an RE45 than a bow check with shatter caps. Again, you're just going out of your way to find an attachment you don't really need. Up next, I have the repeater with shatter caps. Now, the reason why this is higher is because the repeater is more accurate than the bow. Even with shatter caps, it's kind of a luxury. It's going to be, dual shell is a little bit better. We're going to talk about the dual shell version of it. But shatter caps, to me, it's not really necessary, right? Again, it's one of those situations where if someone asks me, "Hey man, give me shatter caps for the 30-30 for the Peter," I'd be like, "Yeah, sure, but why do that when you can just use it aim down sights and just shoot people?" So it's not really optimal. Again, it's good. I'm not gonna say that it's not good, but currently it's in C plus for me. It's not really that big of a big deal. Now we're getting into B tier. These are the guns I feel like they're strong. And I've been playing a lot of, Stormpoint ranked, and I've noticed that there are guns that are going to be tailored for long range, right? And that's not going to change. Again, I said that in my last video. If you haven't seen it, check it out. But long range is going to be present in this season. Obviously, it's a big map. But the bow, the reason why I have the bow solo in B tier, B minus currently, is the sights. You can't put it 3x. You can put it, yeah, you can't put it 2x4 on it. You can only put it 3x. And the bow got a nerf in a way that now you don't use the 3x, right? You don't use the scope itself. it's attached to your iron sights, and I don't like it. There's too many things in the way. Yeah, you could be accurate with it, you know, but it's ugly. I don't like it. And the same thing could be said about the what do you call it attachment? The what is this thing called? The tempo. The tempo, it doesn't really change it for me personally. So up next we have the longbow. The longbow got a nerf from 55 damage to 45 damage if I'm not mistaken. I think the headshot multiplier is still the same. But it's the same thing. It's a little weaker. For me it's still B minus. There's better snipers out there, and I think we all know which snipers those are. So up next we're gonna have the what is this sniper called? The freaking the what do you call it? The Sentinel. The Sentinel, I think it's a little bit better. You can charge it. It's a very good end game weapon, just because, you know, you're gonna have so many cells towards the end that, you know, you're doing 70 damage per bullet as opposed to 45 with the longbow. And it just feels good. It has good iron sights. You don't really need pay to win iron sights with this gun. It's just good. I've had instances where I kill a full squad with just the iron sight sentinel. It's really strong. And then I don't know. It's just good. It feels good. It's in a perfect spot, and I think B tier is when you start getting into. I think most snipers are just really tailored to ranked as well, so it's not like it's a bad weapon. But again, on controller, there are better options out there, and we will get through those options soon. Now we're gonna start getting into B plus. B plus for me is the charge rifle. The charge rifle is better, just because you need less attachments, and you don't really need the stock, right? 4 bullets is fine. You can kill someone with 3, I guess, if aimed correctly. This is one of those instances, again, it's just a very ranked, tailored weapon. But you need to have good communication. And it's an RP farmer, right? So for that reason, I put it a little bit above. It's a good RP farmer. And then speaking of the 30-30, I'm going to put the regular 30-30 and the dual shell 30-30 next to each other. Clearly the dual shell 30-30 just reloads faster. So that's where we are with that. And then, yeah, that's B tier right there. We're kind of breezing through it. I kind of want to make it as quick as possible. Again, I'm going to drop a link to my list if I'm going too fast for some of you. I'm going to put the list itself on the thumbnail, so you don't have to worry about that if I'm going too fast for you. So we're going to start with the A minus guns. This is where it starts getting interesting, right? Because these are all going to be guns that are going to be optimal in game, or you know, off drop, even till end game if you really decide to stick to it. And at the bottom of A minus, I have the Hemlock. Now, the reason why the Hemlock is in this state right now is the hipfire is still really strong. However, if used correctly, if you train enough with it, right, you can one-clip someone at a close range. Granted, this dummy was half health when I did it. But as you can see here, you still had 6 bullets to spare. It's going to be different, right? The opponent's going to be moving, but you do have a one-clip potential. You know, that's not including the attachments. So, I mean, it's not bad. Up next, we have the Devo. I put the Devo in A minus. The Devo's in a unique position for me personally, just because a lot of people don't have Hot Streak. I think that's the name of this weapon. Hot Streak. It has pay-to-win iron sights. And the Devo's not known for having pay-to-win iron sights. I know it had the Battle Pass one, but those iron sights aren't that strong. And it makes you really slow. I think this gun is probably S tier alone if it didn't have a turbocharger. We're talking about Devo, no turbocharger. It's going to be better on Rampart, of course, because she gets how many bullets? I think it's 4 more bullets, if I'm not mistaken. She gets 4 more bullets in the Devo. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it's just A minus. It's really strong. You can still, it's one of the best hipfire guns in the game. You can definitely wipe someone off the map with it. But up next, We are starting to get into... This is still A minus. Maybe A. Nah, this is still A minus. A minus for me is the Havoc as well. Havoc, no attachments. Oh, no, not no attachments, but no turbocharger. And the reason why I put it higher because it has better iron sights. Even if you have the default skin for this gun, it's better. Yeah, you're just gonna be more accurate, right? It's a laser, it's a monster, and you have better ADS time, so you can kind of crouch spam it or whatever, you know, do your thing. I know, my aim isn't the best. I'm just trying to showcase these guns. But trust me, it's in a good spot. Now this is where it starts getting interesting, and it might get a little controversial, and I don't mind. But I'm gonna stick to my guns. Let's see. I think I passed them. So you can make an argument for all of these. This would still be, how many guns? I have 12. 4. Yeah, this is my last A minus gun. And my last A minus gun is gonna be the Mastiff. Now, the Mastiff is really good. Again, it's one of those situations where it's really fast ADS. It's not as strong because, you know, you have to aim down sights to get the maximum amount of damage. But it's still a strong gun nonetheless. Same with the EVA 8. Now we're getting into A territory. In A territory, you have the EVA 8. It received a nerf, but it's only based on distance. So the farther you are, the less damage you do. And I think the rate of fire went from a 2.1 to a 1.0, which isn't drastic per se. But this gun is getting outshined by the Peacekeeper. Now, the reason why I don't have the Peacekeeper as the best shotgun right now, it's because this gun isn't really tailored to controller. Yeah, I got fixed with the fixed pellets, but it's not really a controller gun per se. You do need a mouse. I think it works better with a mouse, but it doesn't change the fact that it's strong, right? So that's where I think about where I feel that it's at right now. But it's a really strong weapon. In the right hands, and if you train with it enough, it could be really strong. Now up next, I have the Dual Shell Mastiff. Now the Dual Shell Mastiff is interesting because if we compare reload comparisons with both of these, you can see that the Peacekeeper takes a little bit longer to reload, and during this time, I mean, you're very vulnerable, right? As opposed to just like shooting someone, right? You're crouch spamming, you're doing all this. Maybe you only have to reload maybe once and you can finish off a full squad if you really, you know, if you're sweating, you know. So I think it's the strongest shotgun right now. But if it didn't have this attachment, I don't think it would be as strong as the Peacekeeper, is what I'm trying to say. So Dual Shell Peacekeeper to me is the best shotgun right now. But let's start moving on to, this is still, no, we're getting to A plus territory now. And this is on controller, mind you. So in A plus, I have the R99. Now the R99 is still really strong. I don't know, there's not much to say. It's just the R99, but I think the car is better just because it's more versatile. This gun came out this season, and the fact that you can switch between ammo makes it better than the R9, in my opinion. It has better iron sights as well. I feel like the iron sights are really good. And I think that's the drawback for the R99, is that you do need pay-to-win sights for it to be better. But if you already have good iron sights, I feel like they're on the same level. But if you don't, the car is slightly better. Now we start moving on to a gun that's better than both, and I feel like it's the Wingman. The Wingman, the reason why it's higher, this gun got nerfed in so many different ways that, let's start off with the obvious, right? 6 bullets. Now if you just hit someone to the body, that's 5 bullets already. The gun is very weapon efficient. Not only that, you reload pretty fast and you have fast ADS. And you have fast ADS movement as well. Probably one of the strongest in the game. So for that reason, I'm not putting it in S tier right now because you do need a lot of skill. Now, the gun above that, it's gonna be the Hemlock. And the Hemlock with the new attachment boosted loader is by far one of the best weapons in A+. The fact that you have so much ammo to burn through and the fast reload, you get 6 extra bullets. Well, that depends on your mag, right? But there's so much room for error, and it's so accurate. I feel like it's stronger than the Wingman. Now we're gonna go into S minus, and in S minus, long and behold, we have the Wingman with boosted loader. Now the Wingman with boosted loader would make any Season 1 fan cry. Any Season 0 fans out there cry for sure. The fact that you get 11 bullets in this puppy, and it's so cost efficient, makes it better than the Hemlock boosted loader. I don't care what anybody says, I'm sticking to it. But we have another gun that's that I think outshines the Wingman, but not by much, to be fair. The Prowler is also, you know, ammo efficient, and it doesn't need that many attachments, right? 3 attachments, and maybe you don't even need the stock, you just need a mag, and there's more room for error, right? It has one of the best hipfire scans in the game. You can do stuff like this from medium to close range. It's really strong, especially on controller. It's just S minus. And I feel like I'm gonna get into the legendary weapons, but for now we're just gonna talk about, you know, just the regular ground loot weapons. Let's see. So up next, we have the Rampage. Now the Rampage is really interesting. It came out last season, swinging. A lot of pro players love this gun. It took them a while for them to, you know, have some acknowledgement of how strong this weapon really is. Now, because the hipfire is really poor, this has more room for error in a 1v1 fight, and I think that's really important, especially on controller. Your aim assist is going to give you trouble, and the fact that it's higher because you can put so many different attachments in a big map, right? Stormpoint's a big map, and this is basically a pseudo sniper rifle, and I feel like it's one of the best sniper rifles in the game. Forget it being an LMG, and again, if you combine it with Rampart, who's already a really strong legend this season, I feel like she's good. For me personally, she's in a good spot. Yeah, she gets more ammo. I think she gets 4 bullets. It makes her pretty strong, and I don't know. It's S minus. We're starting to get to one of the best guns in the game. So, up next, we have the Volt. Now the Volt is the best SMG in the game, ground loot, because again, it's that room for error, right? It's so accurate. You can do that without having a mag. Granted, it doesn't shoot as fast as the car or the 99, but the energy meta has gone up since its debut. I've been seeing a lot more energy on the ground, which is really nice. And once you get this thing going and you start getting your shots in, there's kind of no stopping you. It's really good. But we're gonna start getting into some guns that are just S tier right now. Right now in solid S tier, I have the triple take. This gun is good at every single range. Long range, there's so much versatility in the sights. You don't need that many attachments, just like the Prowler, right? But the Prowler kind of falls short at longer ranges. And once you start getting this thing with mags, oh man, there's no stopping you, right? And if you have a well-coordinated squad, you can delete one person off the map if you coordinate properly. It's a really strong gun this game, in this season. I mean, it's one of the best weapons in the game for sure. And then up next, we have the L-Star. Now the L-Star is also interesting. It's unique, right? You don't need to reload it. It got a nerf in terms of the damage and the what do you call it? And the time to overheat. But the fact that you don't have to reload, you can one-clip someone, makes this gun extremely broken. Just because it got nerfed doesn't mean that it's still one of the one of the strongest weapons in the game. Once you pick this gun up, you don't want to put it down. And that's where I personally feel that it is right now. Up next, we have the Havoc with Turbocharger. Havoc with Turbocharger, man, when you have this gun in endgame, you feel invincible. This is one of the best guns in the game. Turbo, you just delete someone off the map from a distance. It's so good. Again, hip fire on controller makes this gun shine. You still have one full clip to get someone else. It's really strong. But again, this is a little opposite, right? Like the Devo is still better, right? There's more ammo. Because again, this is one of those guns that you're gonna see at one point endgame. Someone will have this devotion. They're gonna get lucky and have it fully kitted. And it's just better. It just has more ammo, does more damage, shoots faster. You still have, you know, enough room for error to kill one, if not two people, right? It's super strong. But we're starting to get into the S plus ground loot weapons, and I think everyone knows where I'm going. It's gonna be the flatline. Now, I feel like the flatline and the R301 are neck and neck for the best weapons in the game. The flatline just kind of struggles further range, right? But it has less attachments, right? You don't need a stabilizer. It's kind of self-explanatory. But this gun is so good close range. It just feels so satisfying. The only reason why I think it's below the R301 as well is based on the sights. You do need pay-to-win sights, and I'm very fortunate to have the Battle Pass one to have more clear visibility, but it doesn't take away from the fact that it's still really strong. I would say that it's on par with the R301 if you have this skin specifically, the heatsink. But, you know, up next we have the 301. 301 is by far the best gun in the game. So versatile. It's accurate. You don't even need a stabilizer for this gun. And most pros would agree. It's just good, right? It feels good. It has good hip fire. You can use it for anything, ranked. You know, there's a reason why it's so expensive in arenas. It's just the best. It's just the best gun. You can use any mid to long range attachments. It's just great overall. But we're gonna start getting into, this is all opinion based. The legendary weapons are one of the strongest in the game, but we're gonna start with the weakest, and for me the weakest right now is the G7 Scout. Just because it has more damage and it has a double tap. It just doesn't have that power. It feels a little odd. Not to say that it's not bad, but it's in a tier of its own. But when you get it, it's like you might as well just have a triple take, because at least then you can choke it. But it's not bad. But it does get outshined by the Spitfire. The Spitfire is just a 1v3 monster. Probably one of the best 1v3 weapons in the game. As you can tell, the Devo kind of falls short because you need that turbocharger, right? So, you know, we just did, how many bodies was that? We were already at 2, 3. So you can kill 4 people without reloading. That's pretty busted. But I feel like that's the third best legendary weapon in the game. The second best, of course, to me is the alternator. The fact that it's a shield melter gives you a reason to swap out for your other weapon. And as you swap out, right, it reloads. So that's a feature that not a lot of people I know personally talk about. Um, but not shatter caps, disruptor rounds have been strong. For those season 2 veterans out there that have been playing since season 2, you know what I'm talking about. The alternator, and it's so ammo efficient, right? A lot of people make the mistake of just using it even after they crack someone, and that's not how this weapon should be used. This weapon should be a primary and then automatically swapped out once you crack someone's shields. But we start getting into the best weapon in the game. Well, not the best weapon in the game, but the best care package weapon in the game. It's definitely going to be the Kraber. The Kraber, it's more forgiving on console, of course, because of aim assist. It has 1 kill potential, right, with headshots. It has 1 kill potential based on your shields, depending on the legend. So, yeah, the Kraber's just the best gun in the game. You know, you can hit this puppy for miles. How much is that? 400. Yeah, I mean, there's just no topping this gun right now. One day we'll get a new legendary, but right now, you know, Stormpoint's a big map. If you have a Kraber, it might just be GG. Just gotta practice with it, you know. But let me know what you guys think. Please like, comment, and share the content. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna leave a link, like I said, to the best legends in the game for season 11. Thanks again, you guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one. AtlasTheWizard out. Take it easy.